Good evening and welcome to my humble model railway layout. Tonight we're going to be revisiting a locomotive I previously reviewed, and the reason I'm doing this, I'm going to be doing this on quite a few of my collection now, is that I've got no more new locomotives to show you really. I've got one coming through the post which I'll keep as a surprise, but tonight we're going to revisit this lovely Hornby W4 Centenary edition locomotive. It was built by a Bristol firm called Peckett, and that's why this model was a great interest to me. I don't know if you can see close enough to bend on the sides of your screens, but it does actually say along the base plate there, Peckett and Sons Bristol, nicely picked out. Then it's got the Peckett and Sons builder's plate on the side of the cab there, and it's numbered 614. And you can see on this particular model as well, there's lots of lovely detail under the boiler as well. It's an 040 locomotive, and it's a saddle tank locomotive. So basically, the boiler, the actual water tank is actually slung over the boiler, rather like a saddle. That's why it's called a saddle tank. Again, we'll have a look at that view, the view of the front of the locomotive, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so now Peckett and Sons, an interesting manufacturer. They were in Bristol from about from the 1800s, and then they manufactured up until about 1958. I think was the last time they manufactured a locomotive. They did intend to go into diesel locomotives, but I don't think they ever managed to do that. Yes, as a matter of fact, they become Peckett and Sons. Atlas Engine Works Bristol in 1880, and by 1900 they had built over 400 locomotives. That was with them and their predecessors. I think their predecessors were called Fox Walker and Company, and then Thomas Peckett and Sons took it all over in 1880. And they carried on producing a variety of small industrial and shunting engines at their factory between Fishponds and Kingswood in Bristol. The biggest engine they ever built was an 080, built in 1931. And they were really busy during the two world wars, obviously building locomotives. But by 1950, trade had largely died up. Obviously, there wasn't such a need for these little shunters, what they used to be. The company went into liquidation and was taken over. Well, actually, it was taken over by Reed Crane and Hoist Company in October 1961, and that company went into liquidation. So that's more or less a brief history of the locomotives. So it's got a very great Bristol connection with it, with me of course. Now, what we'll have a little look at as well, I mean we'll have a little 360 view of her, but not only that, we'll have a look at the packaging it came in, because I think that's just as important as anything else. Now I'm going to zoom out slightly to fit it in properly. We'll just lift the camera up just slightly. There we are. So it comes in this lovely outer here. You can see Hornby. You can see it's for their centenary year. Obviously that gives you a nice, a big close-up view of what the actual locomotive really looks like as well. With that lovely detail underneath. And then on the back there's, they talk about really the Hornby centenary year. I'm not able to get all of that in. Let's have a look and see if we can get all of that in. Yeah, we can. Okay, that's all what's on the back of the box. Now, it came with this lovely presentation case, which I'll show you now. Okay, and you can see that's what the maker's plate looks like on the side of the cab there. This is actual an actual representation of it, kept inside the box as well. Sorry, the lid just came down on it there. Peckett and Sons Engineers Bristol. Okay, obviously being a Bristolian, that gives me a great deal of pride in the industrial heritage of my hometown. Comes with the standard instructions. about how to, how to look after it and everything, oil instructions and everything else, routine maintenance. And because it's a limited edition locomotive, it comes with this certificate of authenticity. I think it was one of 2,000 locomotives, and I've got number 163. Okay, so I consider myself very, very fortunate to have actually managed to get hold of this locomotive. I think Hornby are actually saying on their, I think it's on their webpage, are saying that they're down to the last remaining few. We'll come in on there like that. So that's your side profile of it. Now the front view is especially nice because obviously that's represented in different colours. You'll see the smoke box detail there, nicely represented. The buffer beam with a hook on it. The buffers are not sprung. Okay, it's a very, very small locomotive. I wouldn't be expecting on this anyway. Got the lovely copper cap chimney there. And you can see as well that the safety valve and the whistle and everything else is quite well represented too. Got the two lovely little windows there, represented at the front of the cab. Then we turn over, you can see again the lovely amount of cab detail you've got under there. Peckett & Sons Bristol, it says along the bottom there. 614, and again the builder's plate. Very, very nice. The cab is fully decorated. With the lights here, I don't think we get much of a view inside of the cab. It's obviously quite restricted to see in there anyway. We'll see if we can get some more light onto it. Well, there you can see, yeah, you can see quite well inside the cab there. That's a really nice representation of the cab. And you've got the back of the locomotive again. You've got the two lovely little windows at the back. I believe that should be a lamp iron near the top. Another hook there. And you've got the standard kind of NEM couplings front and back on this, already attached. Okay, so that's your Hornby Peckett 614 Centenary edition. Really, really, really lovely looking locomotive. It's mainly die cast, so it's got a nice bit of weight to it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to give her a little run around the track so you can get a good idea about what this locomotive runs like. Okay, so I'm going to try and do it without the railing ramp, if I can. Let's just see what we got. And we'll just take the turntable away. The official name for one of these is called a Lazy Susan, but I don't want to upset anybody called Susan, really, do I? Now let's have a look and see. Now we'll just go round onto our train. That's what we're about to join up with, and this is three nice wagons we got here. We'll have a close look at those in a minute, and we'll just watch our locomotive come up onto there. Sorry about the jolt of the tripod there. All life stuff here. As you can see, very, very, very nice control of the locomotive there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to raise the tripod ever so slightly, so I've got a good overall view of the layout. That's one good thing about this tripod, it does go up nice and high, so you can get a good view around the layout. And we can watch her go around the layout now in just a few moments. Let's just see her pull away there. You can see the lovely detail from above there as well. Just change the control around. The next time you'll see her, she'll be flying around the station and going past our country station over there. Very, very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll watch her come round past the signal box, and you'll see there's a point right there. Over the point there, no trouble at all. And again, there's another set of points just here for the junction, for the goods shed and for the small passenger halt. Very, very nice. Okay, so what I would say about these kind of little locomotives, you get what you pay for really in a way. You're getting a good quality model here. I mean, some of you might think, well, it's only a fraction of the size of a castle or a king, and you could probably get one for about this for similar money. And in many ways that's true, but really this is a really, really intricately, nicely detailed model. I say mainly die cast, and a very good runner too. I think really this, in my opinion, Hornby have put out all the stops for this one for their Centenary year. And there are Peckett locomotives in preservation as well. In fact, locomotives like this are ideal for some of the smaller preserve railways. Obviously, in Bristol, we had we did have actual docks right in the centre of Bristol, which involved ships having to sail up the River Avon. So they'd have to sail right through Avon Gorge and under the suspension bridge, you know, when that was built, and they would go right into the centre of Bristol practically. That's where the Bristol floating harbour was. And even though you don't get the big ships coming into the Bristol Harbour anymore nowadays, there is still the Bristol Harbour Railway running with similar locomotives to this. And as you see, very, very nice runner. What we're going to do is we're going to pull her over into the siding in a minute, and we may have a chance of a look at a different locomotive as well. Now, we don't very often see the station across the way there, because usually I've photographed things near to me for some reason or another. But you can see you've got a good view there of the station over there. You can see I've added some figures. Some of this stuff actually came with the station itself, station kit. The figures did not. So I've got some seated passengers there, and I've added a guard waving his flag. And those buildings, the building there, they come in two different styles. In fact, what you do is you build the plastic kit, you stick stickers over the top, which is a representation of the either stonework or brickwork. Okay, and then again, the goods shed is Hornby as well, and that's a similar one there. Obviously, you can see I've chosen the brick construction for that rather than stone. And again, the signal box is Hornby. Now the station down there is super quick kits. I think you still buy those with a little bit of patience and you know, and having the right kind of glue. I use Yoo-hoo for this. And you add some figures, you can end up with a very, very nice little model. Okay, that's the super quick there. You can see my naval personnel there, all waiting for their train. And we'll get back to the locomotive itself in just a moment. And we're going to let her do one more lap. We'll let her do one more lap. We'll follow her around as she does it, and then we're going to go over the points into the goods shed. And you can see what this locomotive is like. But bear in mind, it's a very, very short wheelbase 040 locomotive. see it just going away there from us. Nice view here. There we go. Following it around with a tripod. Tripod's a bit sticky, but that's because it's a fairly sort of inexpensive tripod, but still very, very useful. Okay, so what I'll do, we're going to slow this locomotive down. There we go, we'll slow right down now. You can see her there waiting to go into the goods shed. And we'll just see if we can set the points to go into there. Now the actual wagons you've got on there, they're all the actual brake coach is Hornby, but so the brake van is Wagon, sorry, but then the other three wagons there are all Hornby ones. There's a low fit with a car on it, a TR3, hunting for coal, a Worcester, and there's a stone company there as well. Let's just have a look and just see now. Yeah, very nice wagon there. I can't see from here what it is actually. We'll just bring it back so we can have a look at this. I'd like to show you what the wagons are. See if we can get a nice view of this last wagon. The Patient Victoria Stone Company, the stone wagon. Let's go right down on. Let's see if we can see the wagons. We'll come down with a tripod a little, then we can see these wagons a little bit better. There we go. Zoom out just a little. There we are. So that's the low fit there. The Patient Victoria Stone Company, that Groby. Hunting for Coal of Worcester. And then the low fit, complete with the Triumph TR3, I think that is. The windscreen's a little bit damaged on there, but this was owned by my nephew, this particular wagon. And then we've got the Bachmann Western Region tote brake van there. Okay, now we can focus in on that. That's a little bit better. Okay, so that's the train we're actually got on tonight with this particular locomotive. And then we'll just get ourselves focused and raise back up to get the view of the junction. There we are, that should give us a nice view of her going in. That's it. Only one point to change. Right, along she goes. Over the points there. Nicely into the goods shed there, so we can imagine all those goods being unloaded now onto lorries for their customers. Okay, so this is a nice little video I made tonight, okay, of our Hornby Centenary Peckett locomotive. revisited, like I said, because I've got the lazy Susan now, as they call it, and that's been giving me a nice 360 degree view of everything now, and I can show off my locomotives a little bit more. Now, if you like what you see, press like and subscribe, and ring that bell to see more videos. Thank you very, very much for your interest. Now, what I'll do is I'll break off for now. I might make another video revisiting another locomotive tonight. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this actually onto the computer, and we'll get it issued out to YouTube. Okay, so it might be a couple of hours before that's actually ready, before the computer's got this actually rendered. Okay, so for now, I should bid you farewell. Oh, and by the way, thank you very much for your interest, and thank you for watching, and bye bye.